While the reduced restrictions are a positive development for the local economy, the need to ensure safety and prevention of future COVID-19 outbreaks remains a focus in our communities. And whereas accumulating epidemiological evidence indicates that the widespread use of face masks covers by all persons decreases the spread of respiratory droplets. Expert opinions supports the widespread use of face coverings to decrease transmission of COVID-19. And whereas the Temiskaming Health Unit issued a press release on July the 15th, 2020, requiring mandatory masks or face coverings for indoor public spaces effective Friday, July 24th, 2020, to help reduce the risk and protect our communities against the potential second wave of COVID-19 this fall. And whereas Dr. Glenn Corneal, the Acting Medical Officer of Health for Temiskaming Health Unit, issued the instructions to owners and operators of commercial establishments, as well as public transit, to have policies in place to prevent people from entering their business if they are not wearing a mask or face covering. Be it resolved that the Council of the State of Temiskaming Shores supports the Acting Medical Officer of Health from Temiskaming Health Unit on the regional approach for the use of face coverings, masks in close public spaces within their jurisdiction. And further, the Council and staff of the City of Temiskaming Shores will work with our public health unit to promote the important directive. So, do we have a mover? Councillor Whalen. So, seconded by Councillor Jelly. Any discussion? Comments? Councillor MacArthur.
Yeah, I have two questions, and I'm still trying to get to the bottom of them. And I think I discussed that with you, Carmen. The first one, on Thursday we had, I believe, or Friday, we had a call-in with the doctor, and there were questions from different counselors from different areas. And the one lady asked the doctor, Corneo, she's got 2 or 3 friends that can't wear the mask, and she didn't say asthma or anything like that, but what happens to them if they want to go into a business? And I will quote, and I think Chris was on the line, and I think the mayor was on the line, and he said, well, we don't want to send anybody out. So, I think that she could be allowed, or they could be allowed to go in, but I'm looking at it as an owner. Do I let that person come in without a mask on? Because, and that's what he said. I mean, he's trying to, he was trying to be good to everybody. But it either is one way or the other. That's the first.
We don't really want a major confrontation. That's the big thing, Mike. So, I mean, if somebody comes in and they're adamant they're not going to wear a mask, we don't want to get people getting in a fist fight. So it's up to you whether you allow them to come in or not, or ask them to leave. And if you ask them to leave and they still won't leave, then you're going to basically have to protect yourself and allow them to come in and do their shopping. So,
if you read in the information that's provided, it's very clear that you cannot refuse somebody for health reasons. And if they say they can't wear it because of health reasons, you can't even ask them what their health issues are. You just accept it and allow them. And the other piece is around education. And it's really focusing on making sure, if somebody does show up without one, you can give them what you want. But again, if they can't wear one for whatever reason, you can't refuse them.
Okay. And number 2, I have another 2 question. Maybe, Jeff, you could help me with this, because I've heard 2 different comments. One, if I walk into a restaurant, I must be wearing a mask. And when I sit down, I cannot take it off until I'm served dinner. The other comment was, when I sit down, I can take the mask off, and when I finish my dinner, I can put it back on, or if I have to go to the washroom. I can't believe that restaurant folks are going to be made to keep people sitting at a table with their masks on until they're served their dinner. But I've heard this.
Yeah, so my understanding, Mike, is that they do need to wear a mask entering through the common space. And once they sit down at their table and they're within their own social circle, they can remove the mask and eat and drink whatever they're partaking in. as soon as they leave that table, they have to put the mask back on again. And so my understanding is it's the common area that you definitely have to make sure they're wearing it. So
they're basically trying to make sure they can maintain that 2 meter distance there. I mean, if you're walking around the common areas and you can't maintain that 2 meter distance, then that's where you need the mask.
Good. Oh, thank you very much.
Any other comments?
I have a question, and it is around the comment you just made, Carmen, about social distancing. And so it's mandatory face coverings. Is there any enforcement about social distancing?
I think it's just an honor system is what I'm hearing from the medical officer of health there. I mean, we're hoping that 99% of the people do wear a mask, 99% of the people do physical distance between that 2 meter distance there. So I mean, we don't have enforcement people in the city. They don't have enforcement people at the health unit either. So it's mandatory, but I mean, there's nobody going to be out there enforcing it. Give them fines or anything. We have no legislation in place that allows us to give fines or anything. So, what's your thoughts, Chris?
So we could issue fines under the provincial order that so the province did allow municipalities to issue fines under the provincial order. We have not done that up until this point on the physical distancing.
I think if somebody's being ignorant and spitting on people and those kind of things, then we can definitely fine them and give them tickets there. But hopefully the 99.9% of the people are going to.
If you do and read the question and answer section and answer all these questions, anybody can go in and read it. This isn't a city mandate. This is a Temiskaming district mandate, and it falls under the provincial guidelines. Well, if somebody didn't act carried away, the owner of the business can simply call the OPP. We don't have to have 3 enforcement officers.
Right. But what if
90% of this is common sense.
Yeah. So you're referring to individuals going into the businesses. It's whether the businesses themselves are honoring the social distancing piece. And when you look at a competitive environment, making sure that it's the same for everybody. When that's an honor system, and it makes it challenging for those businesses that are doing it and the ones that aren't. So that's all. That's my only point.
And from the Temiskaming Health Unit, there was a question and answer posting that they put out last Friday as well. I don't know whether everybody got that or not. I can forward that on to you. It just has 13 different questions there and the answers. So I'll forward that as well.
I just want to remind you too that, and Jeff, you know this as well as I do, if anybody becomes disruptive in the restaurant, whether it's COVID-19 or alcohol, you can call and have them removed from your premise. Simple as that. I mean, I hope it doesn't come to that very often now, but I mean, that option is always there.
Yeah, Sean's had me removed a few times.
I didn't hear any major complaints at Alley's. I didn't hear any major complaints at Alley's on Friday night, Michael.
I didn't hear any complaints at any restaurant, to tell you the truth.
Any other comments? If not, we'll call a question. Or Danny, a comment first.
No, I was just gonna say, this can't be an easy decision for the health unit either, and Dr. Corneal's put a lot of time and effort into this. I just think it's common sense that we offer our support to him, so.
Yeah, I mean, this started in Sudbury and went on to North Bay, now Timmins and Trishing are both passing the same mandatory face mask things through all the 4 different health units there, and I think Sault Ste. Marie is joining as well. So. All in favor of that?
What's the position?
Okay, sorry, Doug?
Oh, just a sec.
Yeah,
What's
ahead,
the
Doug.
position of the health unit if a business themselves are refusing to honor this system? I've heard of at least one business that there is no way the employees are going to wear masks, and there's no way they're going to make people wear masks.
Wow. Well, it's a recommendation.
Well, anyways, we'll see. That could have just been talk also. So.
The Ministry of Labor might be going around to checking on some of this stuff. As they have rules that this stuff could fall under.
I mean, it is mandatory, so I'm hoping they'll join. If not, there is a couple people in health units that can go make a visit as well. So that may be what actually happened. So I will call the question. All in favor of that motion? Sure.
Right.
That's carried. And Chris had a comment. I see Chris in there.
I just wanted to make sure it's clear that I know what you're saying, Councillor MacArthur, but from my perspective, this is a directive, not a recommendation. So I just don't want the public to be confused that this is recommended to wear masks. What I got anyway from Dr. Corneal, it's a health unit directive,
Right.
for mandatory masking, not a recommendation.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take that word back.
That's right.
Any other comments? Being none, I guess we got a motion to be resolved. City Council adjourns at 12:14. Got a mover, Councilor Ferrier, second by Councilor MacArthur. So, all in favor? Jesse can get back to lunch. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.